Hi everyone, welcome to another Team Clueless battle report. It's been a little while since we put up a video. We've been a bit busy, I've been moving house, and everyone else has been pretty busy too. But we are back for another battle. Today we are having a small 3-player game. We're up in Nick's loft. Nick is over there, and there's Si. We are playing today. We're having a 3-player game. It's one of our weird 3-player games where there's all kinds of strange setup rules, but basically this is my starting zone over here. I am for some reason the yellow peg, even though I'm playing nicer red Space Marines. Nick has stolen the red peg over there, even though he's playing green Orks, and Si has got the blue peg because he is playing Necrons. So we're starting off.
Chaos Marines.
Sorry, Chaos Marines. Forgot. He usually plays Necrons. So we're starting off. There are our starting positions. There's various different rules about how we choose our setup zones and such. But basically, Si is going to be going first. Nick is going to be going second. I am going to be going third, and we deploy in that order as well. Some of the other rules is that you have to start with at least one unit of troops and one other unit on the table, and you can choose to have any of your other units come in at the start of your turn 1. It's to stop 2 of the players ganging up an alpha striking one of the other players before they get a turn and such. And then you can leave other stuff in standard reserve as normal. We're playing with tactical objectives today, so we've got the objectives on the board. We have, let's start at number 1. So number 1 is there. Number 2 is down here in the crashed rhino. Number 3 is there. Number 4 is at the feet of the statue. Number 5 is over there. And number 6 is over there. So the way the tactical objectives works, we just got a standard game where we're each going to have up to 3 on our turn, other than turn 1, where the player that goes first only gets 1 at the start of their turn 1, the player that goes second only gets 2 at the start of their turn 1, and then the player that goes third gets 3 at the start of their turn 1, and then we all get 3 from that point onwards. We're playing 750 points today, so it's a reasonably small game, and we'll see how we get on. One other thing I just thought I'd quickly point out is that I'm taking part in a narrative campaign with a few friends of mine over on a friend's channel, Doom's Dark Side's Hobby Room, I believe it's called. Probably not called that, but I'm going to put a little link down here. Their battle report's very similar to this, but they're in a narrative theme. We're playing a 5-game campaign, so go and check it out and follow that link. Okay, let's see what armies we're bringing today. So today is my first outing with the new Space Marine book. I've chosen to play Ultramarines just because I want to get used to using the doctrines, even though they're not hugely impressive for this army because I don't have any of the squads they benefit best from. I have got a Librarian in Terminator armour, he's got an Auspex and a Storm Shield, and he's a level 2. His psychic powers he has are Invisibility, Dominate and Psychic Shriek, so rolled pretty well there. I'm trying out the nice new cheaper tactical Terminators, and I've got a Cyclone missile launcher and a Chain Fist in there. Then we have the new Scouts with their extra ballistic skill and weapon skill. This squad is completely WYSIWYG. They have a combi melter, they're all armoured bolt guns, and they're in a land speeder storm with a heavy flamer. This one here is my modified land speeder storm that I made before the proper kit came out, and these scouts here are actually armed with bolt guns and a combi melter just like the other squad. They're armoured bolt pistols on the models though, so apologies for that. At the back here we have a Whirlwind, excellent for shooting Nick's evil Orks off the table. And this here is our birthday present from my lovely girlfriend. It's a Sakaran battle tank from Forge World. I haven't glued all the weapons and stuff on it yet, but I've got the hull made, so I thought I'd bring it out today, even though it's completely unpainted and only half modelled. But I really want to use it.
You did only build that bit today as well.
I did only build that bit today, and my super glue tube ruptured and spilt glue all over my hands, so not the most auspicious start for it, but it's going to look awesome when it's done. Let's see what everyone else is bringing.
Hi, well, I'm bringing Chaos Marines today, not Necrons.
My bad.
Right, I thought today I'd give the Warp Priest a try. Sort of Warpsmith. Never used him before, but hey.
Fantastic model.
Yeah. He's pretty standard. The only extra bit I've given him is the Sigil Corruption, so he gets an invulnerable save. He's going to be accompanying 9 Marines. There's a Power Fist and a Melter Gun in there, and they're riding a Rhino. I've got 20 Cultists. There's a couple of Flamers in there. 3 Bikes. 2 of them are carrying Flamers as well. I've got a Predator with the autocannon and sponses with las cannons. And lastly, a Hellbrute with the Power Scourge and the Plasma Cannon. Let's see what Nick's bringing.
Hello there. I bring with me the evil red suns with me. The evil sun.
Don't see much red on them models.
I just can't be bothered to change the killer cans over to my red ones. Right, I'm bringing along with me some new models which belong to me now. Curly had to get rid of some models when he was moving house.
I moved house and needed to shed my orcs. Luckily, Nick stepped in.
I have recruited a new war boss. My warg is getting bigger.
Your warg is now damn huge.
So my army today for 750 points. I have got, because I want to try a couple of my new models to put back out for Curly to see. We've got a big mech with a shock attack gun there. We're going to have a pain boy. And I've got a weird boy. And the psychic powers he's got, I bring them over here quickly. Sorry. We've got obviously the Primus power of Frazzle, range 24, strength 6, AP 3, assault 1 blast. Not bad for that. We've got Warpass, which basically means the Psyker and whichever unit I put him with, if they have the Here We Go special rule, they can gain +1 attack. Would be good when charging into combat. And we have Kill Bolt as well. It's a range 18 beam, strength 10, AP 2, assault 1. So it's going to be looking quite good for some of the vehicles around.
Just while we're on psychic powers, I'll just let everyone know that even though I've got invisibility, we use the modified version of invisibility that they use in frontline gaming and the ITC, which is basically people attacking unit have weapon skill and ballistic skill 1. Slightly different. It seems to be very similar, but it's not. It works out slightly different. Means you can use templates and such, and they're easy to hit in close combat.
So, and right, because I've got my 3 HQs, I'm using the formation in the Ork book, so I had to bring 3 troop choices. So I got the cheap one of 10 Gretchen, just to go nice and cheap. We've got 11 Ork boys with Knob, Power Claw, Boss Pole. And then we've got a unit of 20 Ork shooter boys with Knob, Power Claw, Boss Pole. I just about had enough points to get 3 big guns. They're all just lobbers, just standard 18.
Hold on, 2 of those guns are really tiny.
They're big. And then I managed to get 3 killer cans in as well, all armed with Grotzukas as well. So I'm hoping the killer cans are going to star in this army, and see how the big mech does as well. Because I've gone for a couple of models, the big mech and weird boy, just for a bit of laugh, just to see whether I blow myself up really.
Yeah.
Oh well, let's see how we get on after setup.
Okay, just quickly showing you the setup. Remember, we don't need to put all our units on the table. They can automatically come on turn 1 if we wish. So Sire's set up down here is Hellbrute and his Rhino full of goodies. Nick has deployed a shock attack gun mech with a big unit of boys. He's also got his killer cans on the table, and he's got his cannons back there, or lobbers even. I've gone quite minimal. I've got 1 unit of scouts in their storm and the Terminator squad with Librarian deployed there. Those 2 are already on objectives because I wanted to be able to hide because I'm going last. I'm not really on any objectives, which could prove problematic. Let's see what everyone gets. Okay, this is the end of all of our turn 1s. Hopefully, if all has gone according to plan, you'll have seen a photo of our different objectives that we've been trying to complete. If you remember, Sai, because he went first, only gets 1 on the first turn, Nick gets 2, I got 3. So, Sai, do you want to take us through your first turn? Just nice and quick, though, because we're going to try and make this a semi-short video.
I've basically brought on all the rest of my troops.
So, as you can see down here.
The Rhino moved straight forward and captured the objective here and scored one of my cards.
Yep.
Well, the only one I had anyway. And the Predator scored a whole point on one of the killer cans.
Ah, yes, and stopped it firing. I've forgotten about that.
Yeah, that's it.
Nick, what did you do your turn?
Nothing.
But you actually did stuff.
I moved my troops on. The Ork unit disengaged from the big mech, moved up a bit. Didn't really get to move very far, only 4 inches. Gretchen have come on and joined the big mech unit.
Yep.
So he fired at the Predator, hit, but obviously didn't do anything. Killer cans just sort of moved up central because I didn't really want to commit them either way. Obviously one managed to get a shot at the Rhino. Did a penetrating hit, but Simon passed.
Cover save. Night fighting is in effect.
Lobbers attempted to shoot at the Terminators when they were hiding in cover, but scattered, went off the board, couldn't do anything else. boys, the big unit 20 boys came on here. The weird boy attempted to frazzle the.
That was pretty scary because I'd
you deny-
forgotten. Just so people know, our table edges are 24 inches either side
Yeah.
of our pegs, so Nick could come on all over here. So I'd hidden all my Terminators in a big pile behind here, and Frazzle is an AP2 blast.
No, it was only AP3, but
Oh,
so
AP3.
you would
Oh,
have
not
had
as
to
dangerous as I thought it was.
No, you would have had to save.
Ah, that's okay then. But I managed to deny the witch.
You denied that, and then I got my other one off, which gives me +1.
Yes, so this
Here
big
we
boy
go,
unit
+1
has
attack.
+1 attack. So my turn, I brought on Landspeeder over here, which jetted over and is scoring at this objective, which scores me my 1 point. My Sakaran came on over here and unleashed a volley of fire at the Predator. Unfortunately, the Predator had cover from the bikes there and night fighting. I got one penetrating hit through to it, and it can't shoot next turn, or it can only snap shoot. The rest of my army basically shot at this giant unit of Orc boys that arrived on my doorstep. I moved my other scouts on here. They shot from inside. They fired their Cerberus launcher and heavy flamer. Took out a fair few of the Orcs. The Terminators fired all their storm bolters, and the Whirlwind missed with his large shot over there. But killed a fair few. And also in the psychic phase, I managed to cast Dominate on them, which means they must pass a leadership check before they attempt to do every action in the game. So could prove useful.
They're also blind.
And they're also blind from the Cerberus launcher. Go Scouts! So the scores on door at the end of turn 1 with my sickly yellow dice there. I have 1 victory point, and Sai has 1 victory point. Nick is yet to score.
No, my objectives were not good for me. They were both involved being in challenges with the Warlord sort of thing. And well, I've got a slave.
Yeah, people will have read your objectives. Just one other thing to point out: there is no first blood in this game, as it's a free-player game. But you can slay the Warlord from both the opponents, and you get line breaker for being near the enemy's pegs. Okay, let's see what happens. Turn 2. You join us on the end of turn 2. Si, what happened during your turn?
Well, my Predator took some more pot shots to this.
Yeah, I can see this battle going on for most of the game.
Yeah.
You did nothing to me, and I'm going to tell a similar story during my turn.
Everything else moved forward. My Marines and Warpsmith got out,
About here.
flamered and butchered a load of Orcs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your bikes have moved up to here, and the Hellbrutes to there, but your other shooting was a little ineffectual, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nick, what happened in your turn?
Pretty ineffectual until
Your
the assault
shooting
phase.
was... I must say, your shooting was shocking.
Yeah.
You fired
The-
six blasts from them, three
Three from
blasts from them, 1 from him. You rolled a miss on every one of them.
Yeah, I killed 2 Space Marines in my shooting phase from the ones that
Yep.
were here. With the big unit of Orcs that were over here, I managed to move them. I managed to pass one. I rolled to try and do 1 type of power, but failed to cast it.
Yep.
And then second one, I failed the leadership. So
And then you assaulted and killed the
No,
land
assaulted and killed the
speeder,
land
because
speeder.
it was within 12 inches of your table edge, which you needed
yeah,
for
that
one of
was
your objectives.
just the objectives. You would have seen what
But the main
objectives were.
action came down here, didn't
Yeah. So as I said, he butchered and killed most of my Orcs. I had 2 Orc boys and the Knob left. The Killer Cans charged in first. We lost 1 through Overwatch, and then the boys managed to get him. Challenge between Simon Sargent and Knob resulted in us killing each other.
Yeah, mutual destruction.
And I killed an extra Orc.
He killed an extra Orc, but obviously before the extra Orc died, he killed 2 Space Marines died.
Yep.
We basically butchered enough. I butchered enough that I won combat.
And Si failed leadership.
And Si failed leadership, and I just caught him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We drew.
So, Chaos Space Marines' usual disadvantage of some reason not
So-
having, and they shall know no fear.
So I am left with one little lonely Orc boy there in that,
There he
from that
is.
unit, and with
The
2
two killer cans are looking
The 2
pretty
killer
rock.
cans only got 1 inch consolidate, so I wanted to try and move around, but couldn't.
Yes, it was looking pretty bleak for you, because I thought Si was going to go through you in that combat, but
It
no,
was-
you...
Yeah.
Well, after the shooting, it
Yeah.
just looked terrible.
That's it, I thought if you weakened him enough you'd get him, but you didn't, and then just butchered him in close combat.
Yeah, exactly.
So, my turn, as you saw from the cards I drew, I really needed to charge and win an assault, which I managed to do over here. The Terminator and the Scout shuffled around a bit. The Scouts fired their bolters in to wound the Knob, which is quite important, took a wound off him. I then challenged with my Terminator Sergeant after they fired in and assaulted. The Sergeant killed the Knob, removing the only AP2 weapon in Nick's unit, and then the rest of the Terminators butchered the rest of Nick's Orks, because I had popped my Assault Doctrine this turn for re-rolling ones, which proved pretty helpful. The Whirlwind killed a couple of Gretchen and put one wound on the shock attack gun mech over there. As Cyanide said earlier, my Sicarian managed to glance, not glance, the shots glanced off the front of it, dealing no damage. And this land speeder here shot forwards, hopefully going to distract sized Predator from the real target. And that's my turn done, but I scored a couple of points due to the assaulting over there and killing Nick's Orc Knob. Killing Nick's Warboss.
I managed to score some from slaying Simon's Warlord. So.
Yeah, Nick got D3 from one of his, but he rolled a 1 on and got to slay the Warlord. So the scores on the doors are 1 to Sai, 3 to Nick, 4 to me. But Sai has the card Kill a Warlord, or if a Warlord's dead, gain D3. So he's going to gain D3 next turn no matter what. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, it's the end of turn 3. Nick's just had to quickly pop out to pick his wife up, but unfortunately for him, he didn't really get to do a lot anyway. So, Sai, take us through your turn 3.
My Predator won the duel with your...
Sikaran is gone. Unfortunately, there's now psychic powers at the edge of my table instead of a giant battle tank. Las cannons are good at killing tanks. Shocker.
Yep. My bikes came over... Took out this land speeder and one of the scouts that was on board.
Yep. Flaming passengers.
The Rhino tried to take out this last Orc and failed.
Orc is still there.
My Hellbrute took out an extra.
Yeah, beat up the killer cans, didn't he?
And I think.
And you got 3 VPs for Kingslayer.
Yep.
Which is nice. We've all had the Kingslayer card now. Both Si and I got 3 VPs out of it, and Nick got 1. So on Nick's turn, we'll talk for him. He didn't have a whole lot to do because he only had the shock attack gun mech unit, the big guns over there, and his lone remaining Orc. He didn't draw particularly good cards. He basically needed to score more objectives than anybody else and double what they got. But he had the one over there, and if he could score this one, he'd get the VP for it. And he also needed to score this objective just because he drew that number 1. So his plan was to kill this Rhino, and then his lone remaining Orc would score there. His shock attack gun failed him and shot his own unit, and his Orc charged in as a last attempt to hurt this Rhino, failed to do so because the Rhino is actually just within 3 inches of the objective. Failed to hurt it, or did 1 whole point in fact, so he didn't get to score any VPs. His lobbers fired over here and killed a single scout. During my turn, as you would see from the thing, I got a god draw of cards and I was pretty confident of scoring all of them. So these guys just moved sideways a bit. The scouts moved that way and got within 12 inches of Nick table edge, scoring me that card. The Psyker threw 8 dice at invisibility, got it off without perils-ing himself, so I scored a VP for the psychic card, and I rolled a 3 on my Kingslayer card because Nick's Warlord and Sai's Warlord are both dead.
Was it this turn you killed one of your own scouts?
No, that was last turn when I charged. Forgot to say that, didn't we? That I managed to kill my own scouts with my missile launcher scattering loads. Down here, these scouts that have been forcibly disembarked, they moved forward and blew up a Predator, a combination of crack grenades and melter gun. And I fired my rocket launcher from my Terminator into the side of the Hellbrute and have immobilised him, so he's not going to have to turn around and shoot me for a little bit, but he does have Gretchen to kill. And that was all our turn 3s. The Whirlwind, oh no, the Whirlwind actually did do something useful. He managed to run through the wall without mobilising himself, and then with a nice barrage shot took out the big mech with shock attack gun, so Nick will not be best pleased when he gets back. Okay, let's see what happens turns 4. And it's turn 4. Si, what happened on your turn?
My cultists flamed a few scouts that were left.
You only needed your flamers, didn't you?
Yep. My Rhino took out the lone Orc that was dotted around. My Hellbrew wiped out a few more Gretchen.
Yep.
And my bikes moved around here to get an extra
they
victory
turbo
point.
boosted over there for that one. So you scored that victory point for holding there, and you scored one for killing a character in there. Nick got back and found out that all his army had disappeared.
I swear you just took it off the table.
Yeah. So on Nick's turn, he hid his Gretchen and the runt herd behind this pillar, so the immobilised dude cannot see them. Because look, you can't see them from there, see? These guys fired, the lobbers fired over here, because I was in control of them, don't know why that happened, and they killed a Terminator. Then in my turn, bad stuff happened. So I managed to luckily draw that objective there, so I just got one because my scouts were on it. The Terminators, one of the other objectives I got was to score this objective down here, so I wanted to make my way because I'll keep that one. But the Terminators also moved this way because if I managed to get a challenge in this turn, I scored a victory point. So it was going to be a 7-inch charge over here, 9-inch because it was through cover. I declared the charge, so I overwatched with his 2 flamers, 2 Terminators. These 2 boys down here fell over dead, which wasn't good. I was then well out of the chances of me charging, so didn't get to do anything.
Your whirlwind as well took out
Oh, yeah.
cultists.
Whirlwind killed some cultists over there, and that was the end of turn 4. So it is the end of turn 5 and the end of the game. Si, what did you do during your turn?
Cultists did nothing.
Good choice. That's what I like to do with cultists.
My rhino ran over here to get a victory point there.
Yeah, scored that objective.
The bikes that were here tried to wipe out the scouts to get another victory point, but failed. But they were in the Ork
Deployment
zone, so they got a point for that.
Yep.
And the Hellbrutes didn't do anything.
Did very little.
Tried to shoot at some of the cannons, but failed.
I'll tell you what.
Nick, what did you do? This is going to take about 20 seconds.
I fired the cannon at the bikes and scouts that were locked in combat, so I can fire with both enemy units.
Yep.
Hit the bikes a couple of times, scouts, and I hit a Terminator where I scattered again.
You did. You killed a scout.
I killed a scout.
Nicely done.
Helped out with the combat.
On my turn, I drew... what did I draw? I drew Lightning Strike, which is kill an enemy unit in their deployment zone. So I attempted to kill Nick's 2 Gretchen and Runt Herd over there. I moved this guy over here, fired a Stormbolt, ran his rockets, killed one of them. They failed leadership check, ran off the board. I scored a VP. The Whirlwind moved down here and scored a victory point for objective 2. And my Librarian decided to just wade into this combat. He gloriously intervened, took over the challenge from the poor beleaguered Scout Sergeant, wiped out the Chaos Biker dude, and then we slapped each other in the rest of the combat and didn't really do a lot. And that was the end of the game. So, end of the game, the scores are: Si has 8, Nick unfortunately has 3, and I have 12. So, victory to me, but we were just saying that we think mainly because my cards were better. I had one turn where I scored 5 VPs.
Yeah.
And the cards just turned over and I'd already completed them. And I didn't really need to put any effort in. Just, oh, there's some victory points for me. But overall, it was a pretty good bloody game, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite interesting playing 750 points. I haven't played that kind of point level in a long time.
Much smaller armies.
And you have to really kind of like an investment. Like your Predator or my Sicarian was a big chunk of points.
The Predator's not as expensive as it used to be.
No, it was only, that one was probably only 100 points around, wasn't it?
115.
Whereas mine was about 140, I think.
Yeah, my killer cannons were more expensive than that. 165.
But overall, I think Nick, your army probably, I think you had one too many characters in it myself.
Yeah, well, I wanted the Pain Boy just because I wanted to take the big unit of Orks. So
I know you were trying
to
you were trying to try out new characters, weren't you?
Yeah, well, it was the I wanted to take the big mech shock attack gun and the Weird Boy. I probably could have taken the Weird Boy out, but
I just felt it was one character too. I think one more. I think you needed another unit really.
Yeah, but as I say, I was going more for a foot unit. I don't know what unit I would have put in. Maybe it might have been boys rather than Gretchen.
I think maybe a few looters just for some extra shooting really.
I was going for a bit of fun really.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately, you ended up stuck between Si and I, because Si went first and moved forwards to these objectives, and then you came sideways. So then I had to push back over there, and Si was pushing there.
I also thought, obviously, that might have been quite a nice, because obviously we was originally going to have Mark playing with us tonight
yes,
as well.
That's it.
Mark got called into work, so unfortunately couldn't make it. But I thought my army would have been nice. Obviously, if we did do a doubles, I would have had a lot of troops in infantry.
Yes, and whoever you were paired with would have made up for anti-tank and such.
Obviously we didn't obviously say who was going to pair with who, so yeah, it could have done. And
we didn't really have many tanks on the board.
No.
Oh, speaking of the board, one thing we need to thank all of our lovely YouTube watchers for our new table mat. This is our new one, which is paid for by YouTube viewers. So if you're out there thinking about maybe I should put battle reports on YouTube, we've been doing it for 3 years, so you can tell we make awesome profits, but it finally paid out and bought us a nice new battle mat, which is excellent. Thank you very much.
Roll on 3 years, we get another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Although we've got more subscribers now, people know about it, so
Yeah.
it might be slightly quicker.
Might get slightly more. Okay, well, we're going to go because it's nearly 12:30 here. Thanks for watching, everybody. It was an excellent game. And remember to go to that link, which I might again stick down here for narrative campaign I'm doing with some friends on a different channel. There'll be some on here, this channel as well.
And if I do get time, I am going to do a video like you did for all your models.
Yes.
I will get out all the orcs.
All the orcs. So you'll see some of the models that were in my model video, which are now owned by Nick.
But I will get the unpainted ones out as well.
I would do that, but I don't own a big enough table. So you need to do a video as well, because Si's got a beautifully painted Necron army, which is all a large force, and it's got some nice Forge World pieces in there.
It's all photographed. I've just never videoed it.
Well, you know what to do. Get it out and video it.
Excuse
That's the models. Okay, we're going to be off there. Thanks, everybody. Bye.